we won't get too deep into this, but why don't you give us a quick description of how shopping malls are assessed differently than, say, apartments or office space?
Again, shopping malls would be one of the sectors that I don't have enough sales on it. When you get an appraisal done on your home, the appraiser will come out, he'll look at it, then he'll go out and find 3 to 6 comparable properties like yours to come up with a value. I don't have 3 to 6 comparables of a shopping mall located in Spokane County that's sold in the last 5 years. So we use income on that. We are provided by the owners or their agents, their actual revenue that they've brought in from the rent of the space, not from the sales of the store, but the rent of the space. And then they've also given us their expenses. We subtract that from the total income and again capitalize it out.
So the malls are using an income-based valuation, and then all the residential apartments are typically the value property.
Residential are strictly just market value.
Okay. So
apartments are also revenue generating, and we are really moving heavily towards having all income producing properties valued on income.
Because
that's how they're bought and sold.
And it does seem more fair to me too. I see our county treasurer's come in. We may have him sit in here in a minute. One of the things that some of our researchers are telling us is that we've seen some pretty heavy increases in residential property rates, so as much as 30% over the last 4 or 5 years. But we don't see anything like that in the commercial mall side. And that may be because some of these malls are kind of hurting, but maybe you can speak to that disparity, because it seems like the residential people are carrying all the weight and it's going up and up and up, but the businesses, they're not seeing those hefty rates. They're single digit instead of double digit, or even some of them, even the tax rate collections are dropping. You want to talk about that a little bit, so our viewers will...
Definitely. Commercial properties change at a different rate than residential properties. Residential properties are a lot more volatile. The condo market is especially the most volatile that we have. They rise and fall faster than anything else. The commercial properties just tend to take a gradual incline in value. The ones that have dropped in value, whether it's the malls, because due to lack of sales, especially the big boxes, a lot of their income that they pay to the mall owner is based on an overage type thing. So in other words, if they get to an X amount of sales per square foot, they owe more than just a flat rate. They're very complicated leases. Because the malls, especially the big boxes, are not performing as they did a few years ago, the income to the mall itself is dropping, which therefore then a buyer is not going to pay what they could have made 5 years ago netted from a property, what they can net now from a property.
So from your perspective, you see residential appreciating rapidly.
Absolutely.
But you're not seeing that in commercial. So you don't think those valuations are moving up, and the revenue apparently is not moving up.
Well,
and so is that a big part of it? Not to put words in your mouth.
For the majority of commercial, that is true. The only sector that we really have a lot of appreciation in right now is the apartment, multifamily. And you can see that when you drive around and just see all of the apartment complexes that are being built. That is definitely a nationwide trend. Right now, that is the hottest sector in the commercial side.
Okay, very good.